things that you want to ask.
There we go.
Just like we said last week, we think 2026 is really going to get crazy and it's going to be a great year for real estate. And so we want to help you and we want to educate you. So we thought we'd talk a little bit about first-time home buyers.
The questions that buyers tend to forget to ask.
Did you know, did we say this last week? The average age of the first-time home buyer is 40 years old.
So we're your peers in that regard.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
yes.
So I think there's a lot of, I mean, that's a national average. So I think there are a lot more smarter individuals here because there's a lot of people that are younger than that have
that are first time
their home buying. Right. So, kind of the first thing you're supposed to do is, you know, find a lender. You know, a local one is always better. We're happy to set you up with some. We'll meet with you with them if you want. You know, I kind of treat all first-time home buyers, no matter their age, kind of like my kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm momming them to set them up for success, right? So your first question should be, how much can I afford?
Right. So rather than think house, think money first. Like if you're going to go to the store, you got to bring your wallet and you got to know how much is in your wallet. I've talked to various lenders who have given feedback on their surprise at sometimes this question is hard to answer for people because they might not have run a family home budget. They might know like what their rent is, but when it really comes down to like what's your rent, how much are you paying in utilities, like what's your cost to live every month, that feels comfortable. And then how does that translate into, okay, now I want to buy a home and I want to stay comfortable. I don't want to stretch myself too hard. And instead of this process being something that's really fun and like a wealth building activity, it's more of like, oh no,
what have I
I've
signed
been
up
over
for?
my head and now I've got a big problem
Right.
on my hands. We want to prevent that stress. We want it to stay fun.
Chances are you are going to get pre-approved for way more than you're comfortable with. And so I think it's important that we, as your agent, know, the lender knows, like everybody, like, hey, you know what? Sally could afford up to $250, but she's really only comfortable with the payment at $225. So that, you know, and if we can't find a house that Sally likes for $225, we talk a little bit, like what could you cut out differently? What if we need to look at houses up to $250, what are some of the things that you're willing to sacrifice? But I don't want you to go in blindly just because the lender says you can go up to that.
You can, right.
Right. It needs to, it should still be a process that we communicate about and we talk through. So,
and to that point, I feel like that's the team aspect of like, we're not like, we're your realtor or your realtor is your realtor, but we are also teaming up with the lender who can also provide that information and that guidance for you. So you're not just guided by one person, you're guided by a team of people who we have your best interest at heart. So I think that's another thing to speak to is it's kind of important that you vibe with your realtor and you feel like you can have a good conversation with them, but also whatever lender you pick. You don't have to go with the first person you find or the person at your bank. Like that's a person
you don't
that
have
you
to
can
go
shop.
with your bank.
Right.
Like, so I will say, you know, like there's a local bank that they're not as local anymore, but they're a national chain and they had a lot of branches here and I'm going to not say who they are, but you might have your money there and they're great at being your bank. They're horrible to be your lender. Okay. So just know that those aren't always the same thing. And we're happy to provide a little guidance that way. But our market is still competitive enough that if you are pre-approved with, say, one of the national, like it rhymes with pocket, they're harder to work with, right? So if our offer is up and it's between two offers and one offer, they're pre-approved with a very reputable local lender, and then there's ours that are pre-approved with rhymes with pocket, you're probably not getting picked. So just something to consider, and we can help with that.
Right.
A lot of our local lenders that we work with have online apps you could start on. You don't even have to talk to them right away. I mean, they're cool. You want to talk to them, but you wouldn't have to, right? I think the other thing that people get caught up in when they're buying their first house is that they're thinking forever. Your first house doesn't need to be your forever home. We are just trying to start building your wealth, not your landlord's.
Right,
So
get you out of your rental.
Right. That being said, we are also looking at aspects of, okay, is this a house that I could sell in 3 to 5 years? Or is Sally going to be really pissed at me because she overpaid? So as we get back into this competitive market, another thing I'm going to ask you is, how long do you see yourself living in this house? Because you may have to pay a little bit for it. Not overpay,
right,
but pay. It might not be the deal it was 8 years ago, right? But if it's in a location that's always popular and will continue to appreciate quickly, I would say, yeah, you know what, you could pay that for this house. And if we had to move in 3 years, I'm confident I could get you out of it. Whereas maybe this one over here, are you looking to live in it longer? Those are all important questions. And again, I don't want you upset with me if something changes. I'm still going to do everything I can to get you where you need to be. But the whole idea is to get you building that wealth so you can move into that next price point when it's appropriate.
Right. Right. You use it as a launch pad.
Correct.
So like you kind of ride the equity in the starter home up into, or you sometimes there's people who are really handy. Like you buy something that's a little bit undervalued in a good market. You put a little work into it over 3 to 5 years. You sell it. It's almost like a slow flip. You sell it and then you use that equity to move up in neighborhood
Built-in
or
equity.
Size.
Yep.
So that you can keep kind of jumping up the ladder to the home that feels more like your dream house.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
honestly, just get in something because, right, I think someone put it really well. If people have been like trying to gain the interest rates, well, rent is 100% interest all the time. You're never seeing any of that money back.
You're flushing it down the toilet. Whereas
you're doing a landlord a favor.
Yeah, and whereas if you are purchasing your own house, it's kind of like putting that money behind the toilet tank to save it.
True.
I mean, that's a really horrible analogy there, but
I mean, no, but I hear you.
You know, instead of flushing it,
you put it in.
You're building it. On a side note, did you know that McDonald's is getting sued?
We had this conversation yesterday, and because there's no rib meat in a McRib. Now, I have questions for you because I grew up here, and I have to say that when the McRib, and this might be in every city everywhere, but specifically, I remember how excited my dad would get when the McRib would come back. And it's like a mad dash for McDonald's to get the McRib. Well, somebody got frustrated that there's no real rib meat in a McRib, which I'm like, it's a McRib. Like, it doesn't really mean anything. And Janet said, talk analogies here. And I was like, this is so spot on a description for what I think a McRib.
I imagine, because I don't really know, but I imagine that the McRib tastes like earlobe meat. I don't know whose earlobe or what animal, but that's just how I envision it. I can't eat them.
I think it's so accurate, though, because now I've also not eaten an earlobe, but I just feel my earlobe, and I'm like, that's about right.
It's kind of comparable to seltzer water.
Oh, girl, yeah.
Or
which I drink constantly.
But so the flavoring in those, or what's the one? White Claw. Yeah. That's the one. So they have a flavor, but I'm like, really, is it a flavor? Because when you drink it, it's like you're drinking TV static, and somebody in the other room yells the flavor out. I'm like, oh, or I call them sneeze water. So I'm drinking this, and somebody sneezes the strawberry into it, and that's all you can taste.
I need to clarify something because I get worried sometimes that we joke around so much on these Facebook Lives that people worry that we don't take our negotiations seriously, or like maybe we don't put a game face on. But for as funny and weird and quirky as we are, when it comes to doing deals, we have the same amount of intensity and passion for how serious we get.
All right. Anybody who knows me really well, I'm getting right up into the camera.
Both sides, man.
I am a bulldog, and I negotiate, and I have sales training that is not for the weak.
No.
And we're going to get the deal. I love to win.
But the
fairly,
flip side,
fairly.
yes.
I am very integrable. And again, I'm sure that most of you know my dad was a cop for 35 years. I didn't get away with anything, but I was also raised not to try to get away with anything, right? So anytime I was ever in sales, people would say, oh, you're not going to make it because, you know, you're too honest. Well, so be it. But you know what? Here I am 25 years later, and I'm making it.
Yep.
I'm making it, and I'm making it well.
And so on the flip side of our seriousness and our business integrity is this, it's our release valve of silliness where we like to talk about earlobe meat. And you should
sneeze
tune in
water.
for that. And sneeze water. I mean,
Maybe that's what we should have for lunch tomorrow.
earlobe meat
And sneeze water.
and sneeze water. I mean, people would say I'm vegetarian for the most part. People would probably say it's about the same thing as I eat with my rabbit food and my, so.
That's why she's skinnier, though. But I don't eat earlobe meat either, so I just can't. But I do have a Happy Meal a couple times a week.
I was going to say, you and Austin have that app thing worked out where you get free Happy Meals a lot.
I don't have the app yet. I need to.
Oh, well, apparently Austin's got it all gamed
He
so that he
does.
can get like points and then he gets free Happy Meals.
He's
savvy that way.
yeah, he is.
See, that's the skill of our real estate team. Like we just know how to work all the systems.
That, and I heard his mom was pretty savvy.
She's pretty savvy.
Yeah.
So we have about 4 minutes before our little time is up. What's another one of those great questions we have
I
pulled
don't
up
know.
on
I
the
have to make sure
screen?
my computer. Yeah.
Yeah. Our computer can't keep up with us. Purdue plays tonight.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's late.
Can we talk really quick about how this season has been so many? It hasn't been every blowout. There's been so many blowouts that I don't ever want to see Purdue lose, but I would love to see a little bit closer of a game.
Yeah, it's either we win by a lot or we lose.
So like a midpoint. Is
Yeah.
kind of what I'm looking for.
I agree. Although I don't want that to start tonight because I want it to be a fast game because
It's late.
I go to the games and at 8:30 I am already like curled up in the corner of the couch with my big chubby cat.
Caddy.
Yeah. Who is only 12 and a half pounds, not 15 pounds. By the way, he went to the vet yesterday.
He's slim.
Yeah, no, not really, but let's see.
What's a good one?
Is now a good time to buy? What about interest rates? What should I do? Should I wait for them to go down?
I think they're going down a little
They
bit
are.
more than people realize. Like I was mentioning to Jana, I have a client who's closing in the next couple weeks, and she has locked in under 6%. She also got a grant because she's got a little bit of lower income, so she got
Indiana Housing
grant that you don't have to pay back. It is a true grant. Some of these like down payment assistance programs, like if you sell your house within a few years, you have to pay it back. This one you do not. It was about 3% of the purchase price. As long as your credit score is in pretty good shape, I think home ownership is a little more accessible than people who are getting caught up too much in the headlines sometimes think about. There's also something to speak of about trying to game the market and play the market. And
Well, if that's what you're trying to do, you need to be buying right now.
right.
Before this crazy market hits again, because it's about to hit. And right now, buyers have more buying power than they've had in years.
Right.
Because there is so much more inventory. And there are fewer buyers, but those buyers are about to start coming out of the woodwork, especially as these rates are going down.
And it's warm. That's the other thing. I'm like,
The weather
is huge right now. And I don't.
Yep.
I looked at the forecast for the next 2 weeks. I'm talking the weather forecast, which is kind of nuts that the weather and housing kind of go together. But I think we're in the 60s this weekend, so that makes open houses, going out and looking at houses.
Yep.
I don't think it's below freezing for the next 2 weeks.
That's amazing. I love that.
Kind of wonder if more people will be looking. There's still kind of less inventory because a lot of people pulled their houses for the winter. We've had some more come on since the holidays. They'll come back on, but maybe not for another month or so at the earliest. What do you think? Weather dependent, right?
I kind of think February 1.
Okay.
So,
So you've got a window right now.
you do kind of have a window. As long as we can get it under contract in the next few weeks, like you could be getting a deal that you couldn't have gotten
Gets
in the last like 8 to 10 years. Yeah, sorry. So
it's our time.
Oh, it's time.
Okay, I know you guys love to hear us talk and talk. All right, let's wrap up that little thought because we were in the middle of something. So, is it a good time to buy 100%? We think so, yes.
Yeah.
And if you want to get the process started, like we talked about in the very beginning of this, pre-approval, it just takes a couple days for the most part. Like you got to grab
a couple hours
but sometimes.
It can take a couple of days. And if we get into a situation where a property is really hot, we need to have that in our hand.
Yeah. To
where I'm not waiting on it because I can't submit that offer without it.
You have to.
I can't show you houses without a pre-approval.
Right. We have to show the selling agent, like if they're new to this, we have to show the other side that you actually have your wallet with you when you go to the grocery store. Right?
Absolutely.
So you have to have that pre-approval in hand to prove that you can pay for whatever house you're interested in.
Yep.
So that's a very important first step. Again, we are here to walk you through it. It feels sometimes like confusing, but for us, this is what we do every day, and we try to get it into language that you can understand in a process that's broken down and easily digestible.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Becky.
I can't see. Oh, hi, Becky. Becky and I went to elementary school together.
I have met Becky a few times, but I didn't really know that I knew her, but I met her a few weeks ago. We were at kind of a end of the year, friends are in town kind of dinner and had good conversations.
I feel like Becky was in my sister's class. I don't know, we went to St. Lawrence. So, hi, Becky. It's been a long time. Anyway, that's our time this week for Hump Day.
Wednesday.
Highlights.
Yeah, that's it.
We have a very roll off your tongue title that we have to think about really hard every time.
We kind of think we need a theme song, and maybe we need a little music. I don't know. We'll figure that out. We've said that a few times, but we need an intro song to where
it's coming. Whenever
I'm messing with the camera for 2 minutes, like I was today.
Oh.
That there's some kind of vibe playing or music vibe.
Game on. I'm gonna have to figure this one out.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
We got lots of new listings.